All right, so when you came in at the start of the day, a little too tall, right? And maybe a little too close to it, which are forcing your arms a little too much up and down. You know, it's not like you can't hit good shots from there. That's just very, very too plain, you know, but we've done a really nice job of getting much more within the same basic plane. So this posture here is great. I mean, it's just your tendency, you know. But the one thing here that I like is that you're bent over more, but instead of having your hands having to hang way down low, you've got your hands right up in here into your belt line, which is perfect. So from here, you know, trying to make sure this club head works up a little bit, as opposed to being pulled around to the inside. And the thing is, you know, we worked so hard on trying to flatten our swing, but we never tried to really flatten the start of your swing. The first lesson we did, the very first one. But beyond that, it's been more about, can we flatten the arm swing and the shaft up in the second portion of the backswing. So the club is working more up, and then from here, you feel like you're going to lay the shaft off with your hands as you get to the top. Left arm's hugging your chest. I mean, that's perfect. Perfect position. So now, because your shaft isn't crossing the line at the top, it doesn't have to shallow out and flatten coming down. So when you start to hit your thin shots, it's because you're swinging too much up on the ball, because your across the line backswing was shallowed out by lifting your chest up, dropping the shaft down to a more acceptable plane. But it takes away that compression that your chest gives you with your impact as your chest stays more engaged and leaned over the golf ball. So now we're coming down, perfect plane. I mean, that looks fantastic. Beautifully coordinated body turn, hand and arm position. Arms are nice and close to your body too. Remember how a few weeks ago the arms were getting away from you a lot? That looks great. You know, now we're trying to make sure that our follow through is just the reciprocal of our backswing. So your arms tend to go up a lot. Now we're just trying to get this left arm more behind you. And that looks great. So my little explanation there sounded like a lot of stuff, but we've been working on this stuff for a year now. And it really just comes down to setting up your posture properly, getting flatter at the top, and then also a little bit flatter at the follow through, feeling like your arms hug your body more as opposed to running away so much. You know, if anybody's able to see, you know, the before swing versus the after swing, I mean, that looks great. You know, and you know, like you said, you know, you felt like you pulled that one a little bit. You know, the club face probably got just a little bit on the outside of the ball, but I mean, the overall shape that we got going is a huge, huge improvement. All right, any questions on that?
How do I do that all the time?
That's actually your question?
That's it.
That's your question? Well, you just gotta, you know, the big thing is that you gotta have discipline in your practice so that you just don't get out there and start getting back into your old habits. And you have to also have an awareness of what you're actually doing. And that's where
the creeping up over time, right? So we talked about, you know, I haven't been back in what,
right.
month and a half, 2 months or whatever.
Yeah.
Just over time, right? The tendency is always to stand up, get taller, get taller. That's the way, you know, I've played since I was 19.
Right.
And I've got, you know, years and years and years of that ingrained. And how do I, it doesn't feel like I got that much taller. I think maybe I knew I was a little taller.
Right.
But it didn't feel like I was that much taller. Right?
Sure.
So how do I always keep that in check?
You know, just get in front of a mirror. You know, I mean, if I were you, I would spend 5 minutes in front of a mirror or something that gives you a reflection every day, just trying to grind on your setup. 5 minutes.
Yeah.
You know, and then that'll never get too far off. You know, with regards to the rest of your swing, you know, it's so easy to video now. You don't need a tripod. All you need is just your camera phone or a digital camera, and have someone click one shot of you, you know, once a week while you're at the range. And you'll say, oh, you know what? Yeah, I can lay it off a little more.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get married to the video. I mean, I don't want you to put a studio in your house and, like, go crazy over it. But, you know, awareness is the key. And if you know what you look like, then you can actively make a change.
Right.
But most people are not very aware of what's actually happening with their impact and their flight, and they're certainly not aware of what's actually happening with the club as they're swinging.
Right.
I mean, I have people come out and slice it 25, 30 yards and tell me they're hitting it straight. Straight relative to what, the gap between Tennessee and New Mexico? Or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I guess it is pretty straight, but it's really not straight. It's actually curving a lot. So, once people become educated on what's going on, then they can start to make better decisions for their practice.